So after your successful demolition of the Imperials at the Hintaro, Kolvar has said he must show you your accommodation. Leads you back up a couple of levels above the casino and says, on this level, all of the members of the inner circle have suites. He leads you through plush, carpeted corridors to a set of double doors that open silently and into your rooms here. You step in onto the continuation of the red carpet from the hall. There are some chairs around a low table in front of you, and then the room extends the length of the entirety of Zeef's small duplex to the far wall, where out a pair of glass doors and a wall that is mostly windows, you see a balcony that wraps around two sides of the main room and shows endless snowfields leading up to the beginning of the volcano. You know from having been outside as recently as earlier today that this does not exactly match the actual view, but is like a juiced up, more expansive and epic version of the actual view that you would have gotten if they just built balconies on the rooms of this building. Kolvar gestures around and says, one of the smaller accommodations, to be sure, but hopefully once we're operating, we'll bring in some Purgle again, and we want to keep the largest suites free. One of the bedrooms in this one has been converted into office space, as of all of the rooms that the members of the inner circle occupy. He leads you down the hallway and to the right into a room with a green carpet, the office, and then to the left, and shows you a spacious room with a large bed with a number of pillows and deep, full blankets. Kolvar allows you to find your way around the apartment, explains everything. There's a kitchenette here, but of course the droids will bring up anything you want. Smoking room over there. This was the office before the conversion. Refreshers. Make yourself comfortable, man. He claps you on the shoulder and then indicates that he'll be giving you your leave if there's nothing else you need, Master Silverstar.
I think that's everything. The accommodations are quite nice. Thank you.
Right. Excellent. He heads out into the hall, and then the doors close behind him. Xavix, pretty swank, certainly. Your life as a Jedi Master, while the new Jedi Order is very free reign and they don't enforce an aesthetic lifestyle, there's nothing like this in the accommodations available on Yavin 4. That's for sure. So it's nice, And
what time of day is it right now?
It is the same early evening time that it was when Zeef and Warren arrived. We're sort of trying to stay concurrent. You gambled for a while, and then you've come up here now, 6-ish o'clock.
Do I have a communications device in my office? I would think that I would generally be able to contact...
Like a hotel phone?
Yes. There is a HoloNet communicator here as well. If you've got the code, you can call someone anywhere in the galaxy as long as they've got service.
Can I call up Narset and pretty much everybody out of the party?
Sure. You've got a comlink as small as this that you can make a call on. You can punch them up on the desk there and bring everybody up on the party line. Boys, you're in your speeder on your way back from the city. Narset, you and Kuntera have just made your way out of the gun and armor store there and are making your way down the hill towards Crabtown by the docks. Kuntera says she needs to hire some Sherpas down from the natives. And Xavix, are you calming them up?
Yeah, I'm calming everyone up.
All right, your comlink beeps on your belt, Narset. Worm and Zeef, both of your comlinks shot.
We got like Bluetooth in the speaker or Bluetooth in the spear. I mean, it
yeah,
just comes
probably
on, like over the
sure.
cabin audio.
So you Bluetooth it into the speeder, but the noise actually wakes Zeef up since he is taking a nap to recover strain right now. So he takes his comlink and he goes to turn it on, but he presses the wrong button, and somewhere in the hut compound a trash can explodes with glop.
It's not even going to cost you a destiny point because instead you've lost a hand grenade. So that's fine. Your
But somewhere out there, a trash can just
explodes with goo.
Because I tried to answer, Xavix while I was half asleep.
Right. So, yeah, Narset, Kantera is standing right next to you, and she will definitely be able to eavesdrop on this conversation if she so chooses.
See, that's good shit to know.
Yep.
Yeah, unless you move a distance away or something.
And
Step away from her.
She's nosy as fuck. She was writing down everything you were like saying to Xavix earlier. So like,
even
if
she's at
listening.
a medium distance, she's going to stand over there and make a perception check.
If she can hear it, she will hear it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can I make a perception check to know if she succeeds in a perception check? Is that a...
What? You'll see me fucking roll it, Bendu, and it'll come into play in the narrative. You know? I'll let you know. Don't worry. Because if she succeeds, she'll be like, that's interesting. You know
everyone has answered.
That's what
the
advantage
comms.
and threat.
Hello, can you guys read me? Can you guys read me?
What? Huh? Are we there yet?
Yes, Master Zach. I can hear you.
Not yet, Zeef.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
So I know it's been a little bit since we've all had a meetup here, but I figured we can all meet up at my new place. I'm over at the Expat Club, and I have a suite up here that we can talk in all together. I'm not sure if we're leaving tonight to go on our expedition. Was that tonight?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Would
Would you guys like to meet up? Oh, damn. Hello, Kantera.
Hello, Master Silverstar. You've been busy.
Good to know.
I guess this means Kolvar was successful. Who are your friends?
Who is this?
You guys can meet me here later on tonight if you guys would like. Maybe this conversation is not as private as I thought.
Narset, she looks put out by the insinuation that she's anything but a friendly party. Pulls a face and very theatrically stomps a few feet away in the snow and stands facing away from you with her arms crossed.
Kantera will remember that.
Okay. What's been happening with you guys?
We've been making inroads on some unrelated business, but we're all finished up with that if you do need us for anything, since you have us on retainer. Is everything going okay on your end?
Yeah, everything's going fine. I just have a new set of some new news that I've come across that I needed to share with you.
Oh, excellent. We's listening.
Right on. Well, I now run the race here in Iceball, and I've been charged to make it happen. I need a bunch of items, but because I won the last set of gambling, where I took a ton of money from the Empire, I think that I might need your services here soon.
User needing protection, because now you're rolling in the Mulira.
Zeef,
Well,
at
I
the
think
mention of large amounts of money, you recover 3 strain.
Yes. my eyes on my stocks are now dollar signs on stocks above my head.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, we're very interested. Maybe we're still continuing the business arrangement.
You feel like you're definitely going to the expat club instead of the detective agency on your way back. Let's reform this party at the club.
Zeef, like half asleep still, like starts tucking his shirt in and like.
Worm, go to the
time for work.
Casino, Worm.
Yeah.
Go to the casino.
We
You
still
remember
got
there's a bottle. You remember there's a bottle of something that might pick you up in the glove box.
Ooh, in fact,
That's
there's
worth
also
one of my destiny points to put a bottle in that glove box, Zeefy.
Can I, as an alternative, because I'm not trying to get drunk again so soon.
I'm gonna do some speed instead.
Yes.
Let me pop this gun jack.
I want to.
Knew it.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Does it cost you strain when you take it, or does it just boost your shit? What is the the downside of gun jack?
I think it peps me up.
Your accuracy goes down.
That's what I want to know. It's like a 6-hour sleep to recover all your strain. I will let you make another recovery roll.
Okay, I'll
to try to recover some more strain. That cool or that resilience.
Okay, that's fine. I will
right.
do that, and then I will shut up about my strain.
Yes.
You
earned it fair and fucking square. Now
It's
deal
true.
with the fact that you're handing string by it. You recovered no strain, and you feel bad about it.
Fine.
So, Zeef, you've made a call. You've got a suite. Kantera does a little I'm not listening dance while the conversation continues. A little
I'm over here not listening. This is me not listening.
move with a head swivel. As this news about the race is relayed as well, Narset. Apparently, Master Silverstar is now in charge of the race, but he's also got a suite at the casino, so come hang out. And Zeef and Warham, did you the offer was made. I know I said that you'll probably be going. Am I on?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
on.
cool. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough. It's just very
So
quiet in
yeah,
my headphones.
Worm and Zeef are definitely going. We've already been on retainer, and
Yeah.
it sounds like they got some more money to swing around now. So
Yusa had me at million
We're both
credits.
interested.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know if Narset's feeling the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll meet up with you guys once me and our archaeologist friend Kantara finish setting up our excavation plans for the volcano for tomorrow, and then we'll meet you at the club.
Sounds good.
Once you
May
all
the force
disconnect,
protect you all. See you all soon.
Kintera bursts out laughing at that. She was in the middle of turning around on one foot. She was like, just ready to just spin around as soon as you hung up and be like, okay, well, you're ready to go now. But when you drop that cheese ball at the end of the conversation, her pivot ends with
May the
her
force be with you
doubled
all.
over, with her arms held, instead of folded, are now held across her abdomen. And
She's
she
anime
is
calls.
just laughing, just doubled over laughing. She goes,
You really say things like that? You sound like a youngling storybook. Oh, it's adorable.
she skips over, grabs your arm, and starts pulling you back down the street again. She goes,
Crabtown is this one. Now that you've finished.
she plucks at a string from your poorly sewn armor. And she goes,
Don't they make you sew on your own merit badges at Jedi camp?
I look over to her and I say, we do, but, I'll be able
you
to
didn't get the
supplement
merit badge and sewing on merit badge. It's like,
I had to sew it at the dock.
I look to her and I say, I'm with you. If I had more time, if it was just me, I would have more time to detail. But right now, I went for efficiency, not prettiness. So, I'll fix it later.
she says,
Your master's part of our club now? He accepted Kolvar's offer.
Yeah, that's news to me also about him being a member. Honestly, it could be. I don't know. I look to her. I say, I don't know. It could be a different plan or mission that he might have fallen into. The Force. It's funny that you say that. The Force is one of those things that can keep some people alive, and it doesn't help some other people. It may go by different names, but
she says, yes, but you're Jedi. Surely the Force is on your side.
I mean, there are definitely outer forces there that have kept me alive in some not so awesome situations. So I have to give credit where credit is due.
She nods as all of that washes over her. She responds with the look of someone who listened to the sermon, but maybe is still processing the message.
And then I retort with, in short, everyone's relationship with the Force is different.
She says,
Indeed. And so that's a yes or a no to you're now staying in the casino?
If Master Silverstar is staying there, I figured once we return, I'll probably ask about either a smaller or cheaper residence. Because other than that, we were staying at one of the local taverns with, I think the owner's name was Birdie. She was quite a lovely person. So I might either go back there, but depending on what Master Xavix's information is, yeah.
says
I'm
the
not
suites
sure.
are quite
We might
spacious.
Yeah, I don't need a whole suite to myself, so we'll see what the situation is when we get back over there. As to any other questions you might have on my companions, you do already know that I'm a Jedi, so for the sake...
She nods enthusiastically, like,
For the sake of knowing that you are genuine in your curiosity, will you allow me to hold your hand out and let me use the Force to read your heart and read your head?
Smooth
Will
talk.
you, will you openly allow me?
She looks like a little thrilled. She goes,
Ooh, you're going to use your Jedi magic to read my heart?
she goes,
Do I have to take my glove off for this?
No, you can keep it.
And stuff.
No glove, no love.
she goes,
Good. I don't think I'm ready for us to hold hands without gloves yet.
she reaches out and she grabs your hand.
Okay. Mind read away.
I laugh, and we don't have to hold hands. Just put your hands up. Right.
She's
up.
already holding your hand.
You just like face palm her. You just like
her fingers with you, and she goes,
Are you doing it? Are you reading my mind? I'm thinking real hard.
I take my hands back, and I'm like, "You're obviously not ready just yet."
Well, I definitely roll.
You should roll. You should roll and read her mind because maybe.
Roll. I'm trying to read
Yeah.
her mind.
You should read her mind.
Totally roll.
Ooh,
So
I
her
know,
deception.
I know what we can do. So let's do the Force sense.
I'm using deception, and you're using force sense. You've succeeded. So you've punched through like the surface bullshit that she was thinking about, and you can actually pull some shit out of her mind now. What kind of information are you going for with your successes and advantages to tell her about? And we flip a destiny.
We will not flip the destiny. We'll save the destiny for later, or in case somebody else.
So you're not going to read her thoughts. You're just going to read her heart and be like, yeah, I guess not. Because you need to flip the destiny point if you actually want to read her thoughts, because you don't have that upgrade to say.
Yeah,
all you can do is read her emotional
Yeah, we'll
state.
the upgrade for sense yet.
Gosh, yeah, no, we'll just do the emotional state.
Okay, so no destiny point. Okay, she is very amused, but she seems genuine. Doesn't seem like she's hiding anything. She thinks this is pretty hilarious, and she's just overall, like, thrilled, because there have been, like, 50 fucking Jedi alive in the last 30 years, or, like, 40, or... In the last 50 years, there's been, like, 50 Jedi, maybe. And she's talking to one of them, and knows that another one is staying, like, down the hall. She's gonna publish, like, fucking books about this for the rest of her career, man. Like, this is so exciting.
Cool. So it's more, okay, so it's validating for Narset then to know that she's not just being some snidey, sarcastic twat.
I mean, she is that also, but
she's not being a jock right now. She's not being mean about it, is what I'm going.
Yeah, she's excited, but she's kind of being a jock about it. She's excited you're here, and she's teasing you about it. Because she's excited, and, you know, and you said some cheesy shit. And or she could be scared, but instead she's excited because this is like, she's gonna make her fucking career on this. And that's fucking dope. She's excited and enthusiastic about this wild opportunity that just fucking landed at the docks yesterday and strode in and was like, "We're some fucking Jedi!" You know? Like,
cool. So then,
she couldn't have planned for this.
Narset just tells her that. So essentially, just validates Narset's
like, you're thrilled, and she's like
mental position on her, but then just sort of like just tells. I mean,
she's already beaming at you. So this girl's been giving you the full Ty Lee the whole time. So when you're like, "Yeah, you're really excited to be standing here and holding hands with me," she's like,
"Well, duh, silly. You only need eyes to be able to tell that."
And she knocks on your forehead, and then fucking heads down past birdies through what appears to be 14-foot-long tusks that are set into the ground, meeting at a point well above your arm span, above your head, that lead the entrance down into Crabtown, here by the docks.
We're gonna see the crabs, Mr. Frodo.
Yeah, finally, these crabs. The structures here on this side of town are the structures here on this side of town are a mixture of the same off-world building materials that most of Fishtown is made of, and native construction of, again, these massive tusks and ribs stretched with hides between. Crabtown itself is maybe a third of the size of the rest of Fishtown, so makes up about a quarter of the town. The buildings are half and half, off-world and native construction, and it appears that the center of Crabtown is a longhouse, a much larger structure than any of the rest. The Sauvax, the crab people themselves, give you space as you make your way down the road. They appear to be out in greater numbers than the rest of the denizens of Fishtown. The docks here on this side of the waterfront are working steadily, and as you make your way down through town towards the Longhouse, which is just one row back from the waterfront itself of these buildings, you can see that there are both skimmers, and the Sauvax are wading out into the water at the edge of the bay here, and you see that unlike the rest of the bay, that you were able to spy from the Lady Luck as you made your way in last night, the water here around the Crabtown docks isn't frozen over, and instead is still liquid, and the Sauvax are able to move down into it freely, and they appear to be working here at the water's edge in great numbers with long poled tools and nets as you spot them. The Sauvax on the shore are moving around, bringing bundles and baskets, product from warehouses, down by their docks, up and into Fishtown, and others are doing ordinary repair work around the village, working on the small machines that are powering the buildings, or on the buildings themselves, or the general upkeep. And it appears that the road here, unlike the sloshy road in Fishtown, where there aren't even metal plates laid down over the track where the repulsor vehicles travel, the roads and the paths here in Crabtown are neatly tended, and as you walk by, at one point you turn, and you see that a small Sauvax, only about waist high, has scuttled out from where he and his friends were passing a ball back and forth behind some buildings, and rearranges the pebbles in the pathway after you've made your way past, and then returns to his play. The Sauvax themselves are crustacean people. They're crabmen who are easily 8 feet tall. They have a massive shell, 5 feet across.
I didn't realize they were that
Yeah,
big.
Yeah, they're
large,
massive.
powerful leg. Just the shell of the back is about 5 feet high. And they're more of like a crab centaur in that they've got this big crab shell with crab legs and crab pincers, but then they also have a huge humanoid torso with a head and 2 more arms. So they've got 2 big arms.
I saw the picture.
2 crab arms. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
and
human
then I
is
figured-
only like chest high. To
I
a
figured
Sauvax.
like the crab people from Aquaman.
Oh, they're quite tall crab men, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys are like
Like
a
from
human is chest high to a Sauvax. They're about Wookiee height
That's
when they stand
surprisingly big, dude.
fully up.
Would not
Yeah.
want to do that.
No,
Well-
most of them are pale, like a pale tan in color, but every once in a while you see a larger Sauvax of a deeper red hue moving along, generally moving larger loads and doing what appears to be more important work as Quintera leads you through the village. She goes,
The Sauvax have been here since forever. There's a native village on the other side of the island, but I don't have an inn yet. I'm getting it good with the chief here. This tribe has been integrating with the workers here ever since the factory was placed, and they're doing a good job. This isn't, of course, the only Sauvax population out here on the Rim, and it's much smaller than the one on Leritor, but I don't know how it'll be classified eventually. It's my main side project in between other investigations. You know, every once in a while I hear a rumor of something to check out, but in the meantime, I just study these crabs.
she
Rumors
stops.
like what?
Oh, you hear things here and there, and then you go and see if it's true or not. A derelict ship, an abandoned temple. You know, the sort of things that gives a girl a thrill. Gets her to leave my comfy rooms here and take a trip off-world.
Truly.
So what about yourself? You mentioned mother and sisters the other day?
She cocks her head to the side. She goes,
Arcanians aren't known for large families.
No, it's certainly not my Arcanian, shall we say, parentage, I guess you could say. My genetic creators, I don't know much about them. I know that they were anti-imperials, or part of an anti-imperial gang or tribe on Arcania, hence why I was created with a midichlorian / force sensitivity. But other than that, any sort of family relation would go towards my Dathomirian family.
Her eyes widen at this. She reaches up and she picks at your necklace and leans in so that she can inspect. She goes,
Dathomiri. Well, one less thing I have to research later.
and then leans back again. She indicates the longhouse that you've stopped outside of, and she goes,
The chief's in here. I need to hire a few of his tribespeople to work as Sherpas for the trip. Would you care to meet him?
Would the Longhouse, by chance, also be the spiritual hub of this culture, or would there be a separate building where
Like a temple or something.
the medicine person or spirit leader of the people would reside?
she says,
They don't have a shop.
apparently
Shaman.
the other
Can
tribe.
I fucking think of the word shaman?
She says,
Apparently the other tribe does, but they've had some kind of falling out. The chief hasn't given me the whole story yet,
Oh, they're Republican. Fuck.
and I haven't made my way to the other tribe yet.
We need to
But-
find the liberal crabs.
There were some acolytes who came with them. They should be inside.
they followed.
Acolytes of the shaman in the other tribe who lived here. They agree with the chief, but none of them have attained a level of mastery that's required.
She shrugs and says,
I haven't gotten very far with my research yet.
Then with that in mind, my friends, I will double my efforts in hiding my lightsaber and refraining from any sort of mysticism or force speech until it seems a safe enough environment to do so. But if you have any other questions before we meet the chieftain, I'd be open to answer.
your comment about hiding your lightsaber and refraining from any more mysticism or force speech, she says,
I await to see whether you're up to such a mighty task.
just another zing.
Fantastic.
Sokka. Thanks, Sokka.
And cuffs you on the shoulder. She leans this way and that, she goes beyond very obviously like, okay, I'm checking you out. She goes,
I can't see the lightsaber. Just keep your coat closed. You'll be fine.
and then she goes,
Ooh, actually, it's very warm inside. You're probably going to end up taking that off.
and with that, she just turns and pushes her way through the very thick pebble hide flap that covers the entrance to the longhouse. And as she does, steam billows out and moisture begins to condense out of the air from the temperature release. As you push your way through the flap, Narset, in fact, a juvenile Sauvax, just a little one, even smaller than the guys who were tossing the ball back and forth outside, who is in fact a crab with 3-foot-long legs and a body the size of a basketball, and a small torso the size of a humanoid toddler with crab armor and pincer claws, and a little crab head with 2 long feelers coming down off the bottom, looks up at you and clicks at you a couple of times and then scurries off to the side. You've entered a long, low, hide hut with exposed bone framework. There is a massive fire in the middle of this room and more along the walls. And there are huge crabs hunkered down around this fire with steam rising off their shells. And you can see that the ones sitting further back away from the fire are the lighter tan of the smaller crabs outside. But the larger crabs are taking on that deep red color and are sitting nearest to the flames. At the far back of this long room, you see a massive armored shape shifting
Crab Drogo. Yeah.
there at the back. Oh man, that's a way better name than I was thinking of. Hell yeah. Crab Drogo
It's not too late. He's not introduced yet. Yeah.
Exactly. Kintera gestures around and says,
Without a shaman to lead them, they spend most of their time here, but I don't know if they know how to progress further in whatever path they're along.
she shrugs and goes,
Maybe mysticism is what they need.
and then she begins heading past these slumbering armored mounds towards the far side of the chamber. On every side of you, Narset, are enormous 8-foot-high, 400-pound crustacean people.
Big boys.
The ones that appear to be slightly more awake are gripping enormous 10-foot-long spears with massive barbed head. At the back, the individual, Kantera, stops you and goes,
Wait until I introduce you. Answer any questions he has. And don't address the droid directly.
Sounds simple enough. I will wait for the droid's appearance before acknowledging. Thanks for the heads up.
The massive figure at the back of the room begins to take an upright stance. His head brushes the ceiling, 12 feet above, and his antennae are pushed flat. This crab is wearing a cloak of the same thick, pebbled hide that forms the walls and door to this longhouse, and a circlet of metal with a hunk of black textured stone around his neck. And instead of a spear, is clutching a staff of that same black, dark gray, stony material, about 8 feet long, twisted, and at the top there's a large knob, a real skull cracker of a staff of office. From behind the mighty crab, as he raises up to his full height, a small gray droid waddles forward, gonking softly. As the king crab begins clacking away in his native tongue, a speaker built into the front of this gonk droid begins to translate.
I am Crab Drogo. You return, off-worlder, to our village. What request do you have of this time?
After the clacking stops and the droid's translation catches up, Kantera bows over an arm thrown across her waist like a accordion. It says,
Oh, mighty Crab Drogo, I asked for 2 of your warriors to make the climb with me.
You hear rustling from all around as the crabs begin to stir at this proclamation. Drogo raises a hand and strokes the feelers below his mouthpart, and then the clacking resumes.
To make the climb is an undertaking that only a true Sauvax will survive.
So this isn't an easy thing.
He says,
I'm sure 2 of my warriors have the prowess to accompany you.
as you turn around, Narset, you find that directly behind you, the aisle that you came in down is now filled with a 9-foot-tall crabman. A similarly statured crustaceanoid has come up behind Kantera, moving quite quietly on their 6 legs. She smirks. If you're able to read her mind, the thought would be, all you have to do is know how to ask. And they'll always say. He says,
Thank you, mighty Crab Drogo. I know the climb is a difficult thing, and without your Sherpas, I would be unable to attain the summit.
the Crab King thumps his staff and freezes.
I was gonna say, my head is still bowed. My head is still bowed down, so like...
He freezes and his eyes swivel over to you and goes... Well, he clacks. Clack, 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 and then the gonk droid goes...
Another off-worlder.
He shuffles over to you on his 6 mighty legs, digging furrows in the stony floor below with every step, and reaches down with the tip of one claw underneath your chin to raise your face.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
Another off.
you're looking up at a 12-foot-tall, massive crab. It says,
Crab god face.
What does this one want?
I make sure not to look Crab Drogo directly in the eye, but instead kind of like look in the middle of the forehead, or like kind of look at the tip of the
you
lip.
give him that
Be
Jedi
like,
Master,
you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Uh,
You do not look the Jedi Master in the eye when he is chewing you out!
You're just like, oh. So I look the
I
crab
have
god
seen
in
some
the
pretty
face.
piss-poor Padawans in my day, but you are the poorest excuse for a Padawan in this man's order.
No, paddle you on.
This is my lightsaber. There are many
Yeah, but
like
they
it,
put-
but this one is mine.
They put Katarn as Battle Master. They were like, you learned from the Imperials how to train.
Almighty Crab Drogo. My name is Narset Jinn, servant of the Force and conduit of the universe. Excuse this off-worlder's ignorance, but what is the climb?
Just gonna ask straight out. Cool. Awesome.
I was gonna say, should I make a charm check for that shit, or just like respect?
I mean, you're
plus
asking him to
straight out
tell
ask?
his story, and he's the guy, so he's the guy who should be telling this story anyway. You know what I mean?
I'm asking Dwayne how he became the Rock.
Yeah, he's gonna want to tell you. You know what I mean?
Right.
King Crab settles back. The rest of the crabs, the smallest ones, actually come forward. He goes,
Gather the others. I will speak of the climb.
and after the smallest
Gather the
crabs
wee ones.
are brought up, and even in from outside around, he begins. He says,
The tale of the climb is the tale of Sauvax. Sauvax is the crab who climbed. The first crab lived on the bottom and ate only dead fish. Sauvax saw the vent and climbed. The vent burned. Many crabs who climbed died. Sauvax lived. Sauvax returned. And the crabs climbed. The crabs lived on the vent. But Sauvax looked up and saw the shore. Many crabs climbed and many crabs died. But Sauvax lived. And Sauvax returned. And many crabs climbed. The crabs lived on the shore eating dead fish. And Sauvax saw inward. And many crabs climbed. And many crabs died. But now all live on the shore. Sauvax looked up and saw the great vent.
he gestures towards the back wall of the long house where you can feel the volcano is looming over the island.
Many crabs climbed and many crabs died, but Sauvax lived, and Sauvax returned. We are the descendants of Sauvax, the crabs who climbed, the crabs who returned, so that we may all live, and we may all climb.
He indicates the two crabs who came forward early.
These two will climb with you. They are great warriors. May the climb darken your shells, brothers.
Okay.
So he's told his story. The kids are gobbling it up. They love it. They all repeated the big bits. You know, many crabs died, but Sauvax lived.
So they're definitely a Spartan culture for sure. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Emphasis on survival of the fittest.
So the
Okay, so
more
after
crabs are coming in
after
from the
hearing
back.
this,
Sure, yeah. Narset
well, after
reacts.
hearing this, so Narset looks back to the chieftain crab and then says, "Oh, wise and mighty chief, it is obvious that your people have survived through strength and integrity. Something about the welfare of the planet called me here. What is your people's response to the planet's needing help?"
You're gonna make a check this time, because now you want the secrets.
Be a discipline check?
No, it's gonna be a social check.
I'm like, how would
You're
Gandalf...
rolling one of each colored die, so you've successfully, with advantage, ended despair.
Does that mean?
Uh-oh.
So the king goes,
We have adapted by being Sauvax. Off-worlders have come to the planet, and we have made the climb. We live among them. We are surviving, and we will show the others how to live among these off-worlders. Thus we will climb. We will no longer live on the shore. We will live among the stars!
Fuck yeah. That moved
at the
me.
back of the tent, another Sauvax stands up from his bench so quickly that it topples over and scuttles out, tearing the hide covering the opening to the longhouse and leaving it hanging askew as he does.
You just worm-tongued out of there?
Yeah, I heard you.
That's the despair. One crab, was so upset that
And
he
he
has
spelled it out and ripped.
stormed out, and I'm just going to put that despair in my pocket for later, and that despair is going to come up later on. But the king's response to, change on the planet is that we climb and we adapt. Off-worlders have come and they've changed the planet, and we live among them.
It's a very dwarven answer.
And we
Like,
survive, because
we're not connected
Sauvax.
to the planet. We focus on ourselves. We focus on our own survival.
They have adjusted where they live on this planet so many times in their history already. For them to now live on a planet with other creatures from another planet is just another thing to adapt to. And those guys on the other side of the bay, they don't do it. He calls out after. He goes,
Go live among the crabs on the other side of the bay.
after the Sauvax who left.
The ones that have a shaman.
Good to know.
Yeah, yeah. They're not Sauvax. They're not climbing. They're still living on the shore.
Thank you, Almighty Drogo, for blessing this outsider with knowledge of your culture and people. I will leave you to your cultural business and the leadings of your people. I do a final bow, look to Kantera, and hope to make
One of the cloaked crabs that's tending the fires nods to you as you leave, respectfully. There are a few other crabs, very deep red crabs, all wearing cloaks that are basically standing in the fire as they tend it with more of these black poles that appear to be made out of stone. And one of them nods to you as you leave to acknowledge the respect and the inquiry that you put forth towards their culture. As you head out, Kantera says,
That's one of the acolytes I was telling you about.
the two Sauvax Sherpas follow you out into the setting sun here in Crabtown. You can see that one of them is wearing a hide cloak, such as Crab Drogo did, and has a bundle of several tusk-headed spears on his back. The other one is wearing a poncho of synthetic material with a pouched belt across it as a bandolier and a single tech spear, like the Quarren warrior that Zeef fought the other day was armed with, and various bits of gadgetry hanging from this bandolier in reach of his lower arms. The Sauvax in the hide clacks at Kantera. The one in the poncho does as well, and then a speaker built into his belt says, "We'll be ready to go in the morning," and they head off into the village. Kantera says,
That went easy, but I knew as soon as I mentioned the climb, they would jump the opportunity.
Smug.
yeah. She turns to head back up the hill to the Golden Palace that she lives in, and says,
I believe there's a party or something that you were invited to? I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to know about that.
That is certainly a good reminder. You know, you were essentially on that phone call as well, so I think it's safe to say you were invited to this.
she looks
Could we call it a housewarming? I guess
very
it's
faux
a
surprised.
housewarming.
She goes,
You're right. I'll meet you up there. I need to shop.
and she darts between two buildings so that she can skirt through a back alley and pop out on the other street over where some of the other stores are, and just leaves you in the middle of Crabtown by yourself as she refocuses on a new top priority item. Housewarming gift.
And it's hours away to get to the next crab.
It's across.
Yeah, you
it's
gotta go
across
all the way
bay.
across the village. It's on the other
Across the-
side of the...
Gotcha.
You're gonna go up this volcano, down the other side, across the glacier fields, down the other side of the mountain, or all the way
it's
across the bay.
It's like opposite pole.
It's on the other... No, it's on the other side of the island.
Gotcha.
The other village is all the way on the other side of the island across the bay, so either you have to go up and around, or,
Around,
across...
yeah.
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 Across the bay and deal with all the fucking Ravneks and stuff. So either way, it's dangerous, but you are going to be climbing this mountain, on an expedition in some kind of walker, apparently, tomorrow. So, and she mentioned she hasn't been able to get into the other village yet. And she's thirsty for knowledge.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was thinking too.
TM.
Is that adolescent little kid crab around me again?
There are plenty of adolescent crabs around. You do not know Sauvax well enough to be able to identify whether one small crab was the same small crab from before.
I give $1 to a crab kid, and then Start.
In the Arms of an Angel begins to play as you make your way smugly back up the hill to the casino.
Yeah, thank you for finishing.
In the Arms of an Angel with Hutty's lyrics sung by Sice Noodles.
Give a credit to a crab kid, and then start the long ass trek back up to the casino.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna pop off and use the restroom, and then it's party at Xavix's.
Yeah.